Today we're going to be taking a look at this budget-friendly projector by Eroshoo. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at this P92 projector by Eroshoo. Now, for full clarification, Eroshoo did send me this projector for this review, but that doesn't change my opinion. I try to be as honest as I can be, and I'll be giving you my full opinions on it. I'm here to give you the lowdown on everything it has to offer, from its image quality to its intuitive interface. I'll be covering all the bases so you can decide if this projector is the right fit for you. So without further ado, let's dive into this review. Now, this little machine has a native resolution of 1080p. It can support a screen size of up to 300 inches. It has Bluetooth 5.1 on board, and it supports Wi-Fi 6 technology. It has a lamp rating of 60,000 hours, and the lux brightness rating is 1300. According to the spec sheet, it has a contrast ratio of 10,000 to 1. This little projector can be picked up for £80 to £100 on the Amazon website, and if this projector interests you, I'll post the links in the description below. As you can see, this projector comes well packaged, surrounded in its own little air bubble for protection, which is very nice to see. We have one user manual, which has a good amount of documentation that's easy to read. We have another little box here. This is where all the accessories are. So let's get this open and see what's inside. So we have one 3-pin power cable, one AV cable, we have one little mini tripod here, although it doesn't feel great if I'm honest. It feels a little plasticky and very cheap. I probably wouldn't want to use this myself. Although, it's nice that they included the tripod. But yeah, I'd definitely recommend you using your own if you have one. Or buy a more sturdy version, just so you know it can handle the weight of the machine. We have your HDMI cable, and the remote control. So this is your power on button, this is your menu button, these are directional keys, your OK button, your back button, your volume keys, and your mute button. And in the back here, the remote takes two AAA batteries. So this is the projector. As you can see, we have a nice clear plastic lens cap on here that's easily removable. We have a little IR window here on the front of the projector, so this is where it receives the signal for the remote control. The first wheel here is your focus wheel. So this is where you focus the projector, and the second wheel is your Keystone Adjustment. So this is where you align the image if you have any distortions. So on the top here we have all your buttons. This is the power button. These are the directional arrows. This is the menu button. This is your back button. And obviously all these are your directional keys. And the center button is your OK button. just show you I'm up closer now. So on the side here we have your heatsink. This is where it lets all the heat out. Then we have your audio ports. This is your headphone jack, your AV port. We have 2 USB ports and 1 HDMI port. These are all on the side and not round the back as usual. On the back of the projector we have another IR window. This is the speaker and this is your filter. So I presume you removed this to clean the filter. So behind there should be your fan. Bit hard to remove with my nails. Oh, there we go. So behind here we have a fan, but it seems there is no filter in the back. I'm not sure if they have left this out by mistake or the product is just designed without a filter. So dust could be an issue without a filter because it means more dust will get sucked into the machine and eventually land on the LCD screen, which causes black spots. So it might be wise to cut a little bit of fan filter foam to size and pop it in to limit the amount of dust entering the machine. I'd say you need roughly 1 to 2 mm depth foam as to not restrict airflow. On the side here we have your power port. And on the bottom here we have your adjustable foot. So this is where you raise and lower the projector. Now, as with most projectors, there is a little sticker on the bottom here. You need to peel this back to gain access to a door. Then you put your lens swab in and clean the dust from the LCD. This is how you remove black spots from the projector. So let's get this projector set up and test the fan noise. Well, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. This seems very quiet indeed. Let's get the decibel meter out. So we're getting readings of about 45 decibels, about a foot away from the projector. And straight out of the back of the projector, we're getting readings of roughly 50 decibels. Move back another foot or so and it drops to just under 40 decibels, which is pretty good. So that's the end of that test. I'm now going to turn the projector back off and see how long it takes to boot to the operating system. I'm now turning the projector on. So that took around 40 seconds, which is a little above average, but it's perfectly acceptable, and it's under 1 minute, so not too bad. So on the home screen here we have iOS mirroring, Android mirroring, we have your signal source, so this is where you change sources such as HDMI, AV and USB, and then we have your settings. So we have network settings. This is where you enter your Wi-Fi password. As you can see, we have good range of Wi-Fi routers here, so quite good Wi-Fi in this. We'll have your Bluetooth settings, so this is where you add your Bluetooth speakers or your headsets, etc. Then we have an excellent selection of projection settings. So we have front ceiling and rear ceiling. So if you're mounting this onto a ceiling, you need to come into these settings and change them accordingly. We have a good rotation mode here. So if the image is rotated, we can rotate it just like this, which is excellent to see. Then we have your zoom, so this is how you increase and decrease the image size. We usually can decrease the image size by roughly 50%, which is good. As you can see, we can make fine adjustments in 1% increments. So we can get the exact fit just like that, which is excellent. Then we have digital vertical keystone correction and horizontal keystone correction, which is brilliant. And on the bottom here we have your 4-point keystone. Now I've sped this up for you so you don't have to sit through it, but as you can see we have a fantastic amount of digital adjustment. Very good indeed and nice to see. And remember, we also have that manual keystone wheel which is on the projector should we need it. Then in the bottom left here we have your system update, so we can do an online upgrade. So we just check that now. It says your projector's OS is the latest version, and we can also do a local upgrade from a USB stick, and we can also restore the factory settings. So if we mess up the projector settings at any time, just come into there and reset the settings. And in these general settings we have your shutdown options, so we can set the projector to turn off between 1 and 3 hours. Then we have your language settings and your time zone settings. And of course we have your system info, so you can see what your device's name is, your system version and your software version. So let me show you how easy it is to wireless project. So let's go to Android mirroring. Now I'm using a Hawaii phone, so if we pull down the status bar at the top, you will see a wireless projection button. So I'll just show you that now. Pull it down. As you can see, wireless projection. Just there. I don't think it worked that time. Pull it down. Click wireless projection. Wireless projection, as you can see. Searching for devices. Click Mirrorcast. And it should connect. There we go, it's as easy as that. And just show you how responsive it is. See how much lag there is. Not too bad at all. So let's see what the quality is like through Miracast when we're streaming straight to the projector. So yeah, the quality of the footage looks okay. As you can see, it's not too far behind. It's more or less on point. Very good indeed. And the motion looks lovely and smooth. Now obviously your mileage may vary when it comes to smooth playback, as internet speed is a major factor in all of this while streaming to the projector, but as for reference, the speed I'm on is roughly 500 megabits. And there's a couple of glitches here and there, but I do have around 20 devices connected to my wireless network right now, so I probably should have disconnected those first before doing this Miracast demonstration. So that was the Miracast feature. Now let's switch sources and jump over to my Firestick so you can see the quality while streaming some content on YouTube. A quick thing to note, if you press the menu button on the remote control, this will bring up these quick settings where you can adjust the image if you're not happy with the current settings. Now as you can see, we have good screen uniformity across the whole image, especially for a budget projector. There are no major dark patches or significant vignetting that we can immediately spot on these set of moving images. Now I'm just going to let this video play for a bit without commenting so you get a rough idea yourselves of the image clarity. Now let's show you how good the black levels are on this machine, so you can see the contrast between all the colours on a black background. I'd say the black level performance is quite impressive, and the colours look great, especially in a pitch black room with absolutely no light involved. Soon as you start introducing some ambient light into the scene, the colours fall off significantly and everything will seem washed out, as this projector isn't the brightest, which is to be expected around this price point. I will show you this later on in the lighting test. Right, so let's play some sound for the projector speaker so you can hear the sound quality coming out of this machine. Now as you can hear, the sound is quite low and it doesn't sound that great if I'm honest, but neither do most projectors, so I would always recommend pairing your projector with a good Bluetooth speaker or with a nice set of Bluetooth headphones for a more cinematic and immersive experience. You can also change the sound a little in the quick settings, which is under the picture settings. But this projector has a great level of picture adjustments as shown here, which is nice to see on a low budget machine. I'll now move the sliders up and down so you can see what effect these sliders are having on the image. We can also change the colour temperature and adjust the red, green and blue sliders. And if we go down to picture format, this is where we can change the aspect ratio. Now look at the lovely imagery that this projector is producing in my dark room. The colours are very good indeed, especially for a low budget machine. And I was really impressed by the black level performance and the contrast ratio when in a dark room. So I've now switched my light on and I'm using a Govee 10-watt light bulb, so I'm going to move the slider up within the app, changing different brightnesses so you can see how washed out the picture gets when I'm moving the slider. And just for clarification, this isn't a flaw or a problem with this projector. Most low-end projectors will perform exactly the same way when any kind of lighting is involved. So I really suggest you try to black out the room as much as possible when you're watching a movie to get the best possible picture from your projector. Now that was the ambient lighting test from my lamp in my living room. I'm now going to let some normal daylight into the room by opening my blackout blinds and curtains so you can see how much difference this makes. Now I have a huge window to the left that's roughly 2 feet away from my cinema screen, just for some reference. So this really is the worst case scenario that I'm actually demonstrating here, and most projectors wouldn't cope well in this environment so close to a window. Hence the reason why I need blackout blinds and curtains in the first place. But as you can see, soon as the blinds and curtains are shut and we're back to total darkness, all colour is restored and we're back to a good image again. Now let's switch over to my Xbox Series X so you can see how this projector performs when gaming. Now when driving the car, the responsiveness is perfectly acceptable when gaming, and the projector appears to have low input lag, which is good. The colours still look good when projecting from my Series X, and as you can see, the projector's handling motion reasonably well, considering it's a low budget machine. I have noticed a few stutters here and there, but overall you can definitely game on this machine. The one thing that didn't impress me much is the sharpness level on this machine. No matter how much I tinkered with the settings and dial wheels on this machine, I couldn't get a perfectly sharp image across the frame. It was either blurry in the middle and sharp edges, or sharp edges and blurry in the middle. It was hard to find a nice middle ground, even with the projector being squared on and dead centre of my projector screen, and without any Keystone adjustments. Now, this is to be expected with a low budget model, and this is quite common to see amongst most brands. It's also worth noting that you could have 3 of the same machines and all will have different levels of sharpness to one another. This is just the thing with projector technology. It's exactly the same with cameras and lenses, unfortunately. So when you buy this machine, you may get one that's a lot sharper than mine, so this won't be an issue. I'm sure if I reached out to Eroshoo and got them to send me another sample, they probably would have done. But this is a review of the projector as I received it, so I'm reviewing it as I find it. But overall, for a low budget machine, I think this is great value, and it produces a perfectly acceptable image when watching movies and playing games. And if you're not perfectly happy with this machine, Eroshoo do offer a 2-year warranty on this projector, which is great. And I've also been on the Amazon website and read all the reviews, and it seems that Eroshoo are really good at responding to emails should you have any complaints, so credit to them for the fantastic customer service. Now let's quickly jump to some really fast paced action. I'm now going to load up some Hot Wheels so you can see how well this projector responds. As you can see, this projector is performing pretty well during this test. The colours still look great and it's handling motion just fine. So, for gaming, this projector is definitely capable of playing most games on the market. So I'll quickly just do a focus test so you can see the sharpness level and some text across the frame. This is to demonstrate what I mentioned earlier in the video. As you can see, in the centre of the screen we have out of focus text which appears blurry, with the outer edges being more in focus. I'll now refocus the lens as best as I can and you will see better sharpness in the centre and the edges appearing blurry. Now, as I pointed out earlier in this review, this is to be expected on a low budget machine, as this is very common on most budget projectors. Now let's test the screen uniformity to see if we have any vignetting on the plain white background. And yes, we do notice a little bit of vignette, which is to be expected on a plain white screen. But my screen isn't perfectly flat either, as it has slight ripples in the screen due to temperature changes, because it's not a fixed screen that's under tension. So this can have an impact on screen uniformity too. But overall, this screen uniformity on this projector is pretty decent. I'll now run the projector through these set of tests so you can see the varying shades of colour between one another. But this isn't a true representation of the colours that this projector is capable of, because as you noticed earlier, I did play around with the colours earlier during this review, so this ain't out of the box colours you are seeing. And colour is subjective and everyone sees colours differently, so what looks good for some might seem horrible to others, but this projector does offer fantastic picture customizations, so hopefully you can tune the colour and the image to your liking. Moving on to the last test, let's test this projector's thermals with some temperature equipment. Now I've just purchased these thermal devices from Amazon for these set of tests, so I'm not sure how accurate this equipment is, so this may give inaccurate readings. But you can be the judge of that. I'll shoot the laser at various places on the projector so you can see the readings. So that was that device. I'll now switch over to a thermal imaging camera so you can see the next set of results. So this is the first time I've used this product, so let's switch it on. At least now you can see a visual representation of the thermals. So those were the thermal readings. I hope you got a rough idea on the temperature readings. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure if my equipment is accurate, but to the touch the projector does feel quite warm and it gives off quite a bit of heat. But this hasn't caused any issues. The projector has run perfectly fine in the 3 hours I've tested the product without the projector shutting down on me. So it's safe to say you can binge watch an entire series or have a movie marathon without the need for letting the projector cool down. So that's a wrap for today's review of the Eroshoo P92 Projector. If you're in the market for a projector that offers solid performance without breaking the bank, then this might be the projector for you. With its impressive colour reproduction in dark environments and decent motion handling, the Eroshoo P92 delivers a good experience on a budget. If you're interested in this product, I'll put the links in the description. They are not affiliated links and I do not earn any money from you clicking on my links. I just post the links to save you some time in searching so you can see all the specs yourselves and know that this is the exact machine I'm reviewing. So thank you very much for joining me for this review. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you hit the subscribe button, perhaps I will see you in another video soon. Take care and thank you very much for watching.